In the outer reaches of the galaxy, where the light of the Republic barely flickered, a name whispered through dark alleys and cantinas: Kael Varyn, the Phantom. Known for his ruthless efficiency and uncanny ability to track targets across the stars, Kael was more myth than man. But beneath his scarred armor and cold demeanor lay a past that few would dare imagine. As a child, Kael lived a peaceful life on a backwater planet with his family. Unbeknownst to him, he was force-sensitive, his abilities manifesting in subtle ways: an unerring instinct, heightened reflexes, the ability to sense danger before it struck. Yet the Jedi never found him, never took him to Coruscant for training. The Force, it seemed, had other plans. One fateful night, those plans revealed themselves. Darth Bane, dark and towering, descended upon Kael's village. Seeking to root out any potential threats to his newly founded rule of two, Bane slaughtered everyone in his path. Kael hid, trembling in the shadows, as he watched his family cut down by crimson lightning and the merciless swing of a lightsaber. He felt the Force surge within him, but as a terrified child, he could only flee. From that moment on, vengeance consumed him. With no one to guide him, Kael buried his emotions, honing his instincts into deadly precision. He became a bounty hunter, using the underworld as his training ground, taking on contracts that allowed him to sharpen his skills and track those who dealt in Sith knowledge. Each bounty was a calculated move closer to his ultimate prey, Darth Bane. Years passed, and Kael transformed into a force of nature. He earned a reputation not just for his brutality, but for his ability to predict his enemies' moves before they made them. Few suspected the source of his power, and those who did rarely lived to share the secret. Kael avoided Force users, knowing that both the Sith and Jedi would view him as a threat. But he learned from them, watching from the shadows, studying their techniques and philosophies. Kael's strength lay in deception. He became a master of cloak and dagger tactics, setting traps, using misdirection, and blending into the shadows. He knew Bane was too powerful to face head-on, so he played the long game. On countless occasions, he crossed paths with agents of the Sith, eliminating them one by one, each death a signal to Bane that the hunter was closing in. Every encounter fueled his rage, but he never let it control him. He channeled it into focus, biding his time for the perfect strike. Bane, a master of manipulation, eventually became aware of this shadow stalking him. Intrigued, he set traps of his own, yet Kael always slipped away, leaving only corpses and empty threats in his wake. The game grew into a battle of wits, each move pushing Kael closer to his final confrontation. But Kael knew that raw power alone wouldn't be enough to defeat a Sith Lord. He had to find the weakness in Bane's seemingly impenetrable armor: his arrogance. On a barren moon, far from prying eyes, Kael finally confronted the monster that had haunted his nightmares. In a forgotten tomb, Bane stood waiting, his red saber casting an eerie glow in the darkness. The two faced each other, predator and prey, but it was unclear who played which role. Bane taunted him, dismissing him as just another would-be assassin, but Kael was no mere bounty hunter. He had spent his life becoming something far more dangerous. A weapon forged from the dark, sharpened by pain, and tempered with vengeance. The battle was not fought with brute strength or raw force power, but with cunning and relentless determination. Kael anticipated Bane's every strike, dodging and countering with precision. He set off hidden explosives, creating distractions and using the terrain to his advantage. Bane's rage grew, his strikes more reckless as Kael remained calm, playing the long game he had spent years perfecting. In the end, Kael didn't overpower Bane. He outsmarted him. He lured Bane into a trap, exploiting the Sith's overconfidence. A series of timed detonations brought the tomb's ceiling crashing down, burying the Sith Lord in rubble. But Kael knew better than to assume Bane was dead. He didn't need a body to claim victory. He left the moon knowing he had struck a blow to the Sith that would echo through the darkness. Kael never spoke of his victory over Bane, even hearing that Bane's apprentice Darth Zana took the credit for the Sith Lord's disappearance. Kael Varyn continued his work, still taking bounties, still moving in the shadows. The galaxy saw him as a heartless killer, a ghost that preyed on those who thought themselves untouchable. But in his heart, he knew he was more than that. He was vengeance made flesh, a reminder that even in a galaxy ruled by the strong, the forgotten can become the deadliest adversaries of all. And as long as darkness reigned, Kael's hunt would never truly end.